What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today have we got a good video for you. We have the brand new Trijicon enclosed optic. This is the all new Trijicon RCR, the ruggedized closed reflex sight. Now I know that a lot of you guys in the pistol game have been running dots these days, me included. Pistol optics have been a lot more popular, and because of that, pistol technology has been getting better and better. Trijicon has always been on the forefront of pistol optics, arguably the go-to, certainly the go-to for smaller guns. I would say the RMR and the SRO have been two optics I have by far run the most. As you guys watch the channel a lot, you know that I like Trijicon. I kind of always have. I'm an ACOG guy. I like their LPVOs, but when it comes to pistol dots, I either want that big window of the SRO that's pretty rugged. You know, it can deal with a lot of trauma, but if you drop it upside down onto a concrete pad, it's probably gonna break. I like the RMR a lot because it has a smaller window, but it's very ruggedized, and even though it's an open optic, it's one of the toughest, if not the toughest, and it has stood the test of time as far as reliability and durability. But both of those optics do have shortcomings, which I believe the new RCR has completely fixed. This does have some cons, which we'll talk about later in the video, but for the most part, this is one of the best optics I have ever tried. Now, Trijicon did send me this for testing along with the other new RMR, and we will also be debuting the Echelon 1000 round review and torture test later this week. So if you're interested in that stuff, make sure to like and subscribe. Now, Trijicon sent us this, but as you guys know that watch the channel, that's not going to change my opinion at all, and we're going to show you exactly what happened in the video. Before we do that though, I do want to thank my page supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because of you guys we have cool guns and ammo and stuff on the channel, and it's really because of you that we are here in the first place to give you honest reviews. We appreciate your support. If you want to support us, just go down to Patreon. That link is in the description. Also in that description is a link to a local shelter named Iowa. It's the YSS. It's a youth shelter. Those kids could use some help, so please go down in the description of this video and all of my videos and click the link and it'll bring you right to the donate page. So first off, the enclosed emitter optic has gained a huge amount of popularity over the last year and a half. Aimpoint has one with the Acro, Holosun has one, but a lot of Trijicon people wanted Trijicon to make one because they've kind of been the gold standard for pistol optics for a long time. They just haven't got into it yet, and as it turns out, they were waiting just to make the right one. So I'll give you some stats on this guy quick. The RCR first has a top-loading battery. That's one of the main things they fixed out of the original RMR and RMR Type 2, is the fact that you no longer have to take off the mount in order to change the battery. Now, every couple of years when you have to change your battery, you can change it out easily with that top-mounted system. Obviously, the enclosed emitter allows you more durability and reliability even over the standard system, simply because now you don't have to worry about getting mud and dirt and snow inside your optic. Especially when it's sitting inside a holster, the open emitter is kind of like a little cup that just kind of catches shit like lint and water and mud. And a lot of times, even the other day when we had a bunch of people shooting, there was multiple occasions where somebody had to dig something out of their optic. Whereas in the case with this, if you manage to get mud, dust, dirt, or whatever on there, first off, it's flat on the back, so it's easily wipeable, and it also won't get down on your optic and mess with the dot.
Nice big window, looks nice and solid. I can wipe it off without having to dig in there. Oh, I love it.
The biggest problem with the open emitter optic is if you do get mud on the laser, it then won't emit to the glass, whereas this, it's absolutely impossible. And as you can see here, we have torture tested this one quite a bit as well, which we'll get to here in a second. Now, the push button controls on the optic are just as easy as they were on the RMR. I like that a lot. Left is up. Right is down. Super simple, easy to do in the dark, and a lot of people are like, why would you have to do it in the dark? Because it's dark half the time, and you have to adjust your optic according to the light that you are in. It does have auto settings, but I prefer to run manual myself, and I prefer to just use the switches because my little thumb works for when I want it to work. So I like the controls on it. I like they're big and fat. As a matter of fact, during the entirety of the torture testing, it didn't even change in the settings. It's also the same height as the RMR, so you don't have to worry about getting a new point of aim. If you're familiar with the RMR, you're gonna get the exact same leveled off system. And on top of that, it takes the same mounts as the RMR. So basically every gun on the world comes with an RMR mount if it comes with a red dot mount. So you will be able to right away with no adapter plates, unlike the Holosun, you'll be able to mount this direct to your gun right away. Now we have a pretty large window as well. One of the issues with the Acro is if you look at the Acro Acro, it's a giant thing. They always call it the school bus. It's kind of laughable, but it's absolutely true that it's a very big, very durable optic, but it has a very small window, one of the smallest windows available. Whereas you can see with this, the large window on the optic makes it easy to see things, easy to transition to targets quickly, and just gives you a lot more options when it comes to shooting fast. The adjustments are 1 MOA. The whole optic weighs less than 2 ounces, so you aren't gonna have to worry about a lot of reciprocating mass on your slide, reducing the reliability of your firearm. It's the same weight as every other common optic, even though it's still enclosed and it's still very durable. It's waterproof to 20 meters, which is pretty impressive. The dimensions are 1.8 by 1.2 by 1.3 if you're interested in that. And as of right now, it has just the one singular circle reticle like we have on the RMR, and it has a 3.25 MOA dot in the one that I have right now. We have 10 brightness settings illuminated by an LED. The battery is a CR2032 battery, and overall it doesn't sacrifice any of the features the RMR had, and it increases the durability and usability by an awful lot. Now, another nice thing about the gun, as you can see, is it doesn't have a super blued out reticle. It does have a little bit, I would say around the same amount as the SRO, but you're not gonna get one of those like cheap Chinese-y lens coatings on it where everything is so blue because they have to make up for the lack of battery life and power usage. So I like that they went not only super durable on this, but unlike the Acro, they actually made it relatively small on the gun and usable as well. Because even though you want excess of durability, you don't want a big fucking optic sitting on your junk. Like if you carry appendix and it's pushing against your stomach, you want as little as humanly possible. So we have a minimal footprint here with the most usability possible. We did do a torture test on this, and we did a pretty extreme torture test as well. Shoulder height drop test number 1 on the concrete. Woo, that didn't sound good. It's fine, as I expected.
Let me look. Well, I can't see. Nothing is broken.
2.
Oh boy.
That was right on the glass. I turned our light on. Fine.
You are 6'4", and
Yep.
how tall do we think the truck bed is?
Truck bed's 4 foot tall, so I'm gonna keep it at my head. It'll be 10-foot drops.
10
Try to do
foot
2
drops.
of them.
Okay.
See how that goes.
I suppose I'll have to get it for you.
Yeah.
Let me fetch it.
Okay. Inspect it here. Nothing's broken. No scratches on the glass. See, it's getting quite the impact today. This is maybe the 6th or 7th drop test we've done. We'll do another one at 10 foot. Okay.
I'm gonna inspect it here. It's getting bunged up, but the glass is not breaking. How long are we leaving this bad boy in there for, honey?
Not long. I just kind of want to see if I drag it on the bottom of the pond and it gets a bunch of mud and dirt in it, if the enclosed optic will hold. We just did a ton of drop testing, and I wanted to see if not only would it keep the water out, you know what I mean?
Yep.
If it's fully submerged. It also kind of helps test the echelon a little bit too. I'm fishing for polymer guns. Let's see if I get one. I feel like the fucking crocodile hunter.
The frogs are probably like, what the hell?
Oh, look at that. It's a Croatian pistol. We've caught a Croatian.
Not to offend anyone. That's just what it is.
Jesus.
It's pretty icky.
Yeah, we'll see. Two dips in the mud. Fucking Springfield, Trijicon, keep going. Look at that shit. Look at all the fucking mud.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
right. Let's see how it is after quarter mile about.
Yeah, quarter mile and gravel.
Is it broke?
It's not very happy. No, the optics is fine.
It's dusty.
The optic's not even fucking scratched.
Wait, can you stop moving it, honey? Wow. Yeah, I can see in the camera that it's not broken. Dusty, but not broken.
Now, how freaking impressive is that? One of the most, if not the most durable optics we've ever tested on the channel. Like, we were trying to break this thing. After we did 3 or 4 drop tests, I started beating it against the barricade like every other magazine. And as you can see, we peeled some paint off it, and we certainly marred the hell out of the plastic buttons on the side, but the adjustments still work. It didn't lose zero either, which is insane considering how it actually mounts. So it's kind of interesting on how the Optic mounts. As you can see there, I was going to comment on that because it took me in my my Iowa brain a second to figure out how to mount this when I initially got it in the box. So there's no screws through the top down through the bottom. What they have is proprietary screws on the enclosed emitter. Now the new RMR has the same old system, but this one has a little different system. So you basically stick these in here and then you turn them by turn with an Allen key on the side there. And I was concerned about that mounting system because you could have the world's most durable optic, but if it doesn't hold zero, there's no point in that. So throughout the course of the Optic review, about every half a mag or so, I would run them down and then I would eject the mag, I would shoot the last shot, and then I would bang the Optic a whole bunch of times on stuff. And through the entire process of the durability testing, it never even lost zero. I would argue, at least for me, and again, all this is a sample size of 1. I can't guarantee yours will do this. I'm just explaining what mine did. Mine functioned like a superhero. These, all we did was put blue Loctite on these screws, torqued them down to spec, and they never came out. Now, as far as the accuracy of the dot, now one thing a dot does give you is 1 point of aim, so almost everyone is gonna be more accurate with a dot than they are with iron sights with a little bit of practice. Now, a lot of people say I'm more accurate with iron sights. Well, that's because you've shot 10,000 rounds with an iron sight gun and then 400 rounds with a dot gun, and you decided you're better with the iron sights. I mean, if you shoot the dot long enough, take it from me and take it from all of my friends who used to believe in iron sights that are now shooting dots, not only can you achieve a much higher level of accuracy with a dot, in my opinion, maybe not much, but certainly a little, but the speed on it, transition target to target, is easier as well because you can remain threat focused. And in an actual situation when you're not shooting at steel targets, you're not shooting at cardboard, when things are coming at you, or when you're having to focus on the background. You have to understand that we've been training for years to focus on the front sight and put that target in our second focal plane, whereas if it's got a butcher knife and you have an adrenaline running through you and he's moving at you, first of all, that's not gonna be possible. Second off, in a real situation, you are also gonna have to be checking the background so you don't put a hole through that guy and into somebody you don't want to, or into something you don't want, a fucking propane tank, you blow the whole building up. You see what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to have the foreground, the target, and the background all in your focus, and it's just easier to do all that stuff with a dot. On top of that, it's easier to just bring the dot up, superimpose, and go. Like, I like that you get the whole picture like you're looking at a fucking TV, kinda.
I feel like it increased my focus a little bit because I have to like narrowly look through something.
So overall, as far as target acquisition on a moving target, a threat, speed, or at distance, the dot is gonna give you a slight advantage. 126. One, 2. That was 5 because that's all I had left. So what's the downsides of a dot? Well, the downsides of this dot are the downsides of every dot. First off, it's gonna be cost. It's gonna cost you the same price as your gun, most likely. Now, do you get an upgrade in performance? You absolutely do. Is it for everybody? Absolutely not. Not everybody needs a dot. Not everybody needs that extra 5% accuracy or that extra 5% of speed. If you're comfortable with your iron sights and you're on this video and you're like, I don't need that fucking thing, then you don't. You're absolutely fine. Most shootings happen within 15 yards in the first place, and most people will never even need one. But the reality is that if you shoot for fun, or if you shoot recreational and you have a real good time with it and you want to have a better time, this is a good way to go. If you want to have a slightly better home defense setup that even amateurs can get to easier, it's a better way to go. And if you want a dot that has a wide enough window to shoot competition and you never want to have it worry about breaking, like me, because the SRO is an amazing optic. It has a crisp, clear window, it has an awesome reticle, and it is durable enough for most uses. However, I've had several SROs when they fall off the table at the start, or when you knock them off the table when you're cleaning it or whatever, they will break, whereas this thing will not. I mean, if I had a helicopter, I'd drop it out of the helicopter, but we literally couldn't find a way to break this thing, and it has the battery life I'm looking for, it's at the price point that's nice, it's at a size that is an acceptable level of size in my opinion. It's a little bit big for me for a carry optic, but I'll definitely take it for the performance. It just adds everything together, and I'm glad Trijicon waited on this and kind of took a little bit from everybody and made, in my opinion, probably the best duty optic out on the market today. Now again, sample size of 1, and I can't wait to watch other people's videos and see how they had their performance and see maybe things that I missed. That's why it's always good to watch more than one video, and that's why it's always good to go to your gun store and try things out as well. Taking somebody's opinion off the internet as gospel and going and just buying a product is not necessarily a good idea. So I had a great time with this optic. I'm going to continue to shoot it. This is not the only rounds through it. We already have 1,000 rounds through it, by the way, on just this gun alone. But you will be seeing updates not only of this optic, we will be doing a review of the new RMR next week as well. If you subscribe, you'll see it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.